Okay, the KAHR CM9, as far as features and controls, this particular model has no safety. It's a single action striker fired pistol. The magazine release is here. This would be the slide stop. Those are the only controls. So before we do anything as far as manipulation, we'll first lock it back, take a look at the inside. There's no ammunition. Magazine is clear. So we'll take a look at the controls a little bit more in depth. We have the magazine release. Of course, you just push that, release the magazine. We have the slide stop. The magazine does have follower, does engage the slide stop. On the last round, this is the lock notch on the slide. On the last round, it will automatically lock the slide back open. Of course, to release, you would just pull down on that lever, and it would be then ready for the next round. So we'll go ahead and remove the magazine. For disassembly, there is a disassembly notch in the slide. It's a little half moon shape. It's right there. You would align that with the corresponding section on the slide stop, and you can't see it right now, it's behind the slide, but once those are in alignment, then you can push the pin out. On this side, that's where the pin comes through, so you would push in on that. So we'll go ahead and align that. And then once it's aligned, you can push that through. Remove the pin. Then you'd want to pull the trigger to release the sear from the striker. And at this point, you could remove the slide from the frame. On the frame itself, that's the sear right there that engages the striker. So when you pull the trigger, that sear will come down and that would allow it to fire. The disconnector is this little tab right here. When the slide comes back, it would trip that and that would release the sear so that it would lock onto the next and cock the hammer for the next round. You would want to clean everything on the inside here, kind of scrub it out, light coating of oil on the metal parts. And that's pretty much as far as you would want to disassemble the frame here. The slide itself, we have our recoil spring, have an extractor. The recoil spring on these is not captive. So to remove the spring, you'd want to push forward on the plunger and lift up slightly. And then that could be removed. The barrel itself, you'd lift up, forward, and then pull out. As far as other parts of the slide, again, there's the extractor. And of course it goes into an external part here. There's a plunger there that goes through the slide and locks into the back plate. This is the striker assembly here. That's what the sear would catch on. And there's the spring for the striker, and that also locks into the back plate. The back plate can be removed to access all of those parts. I will tell you that between the spring for the striker and the spring for the extractor, it is very difficult to get these back plates off, but it can be done, of course. You would need to insert something into that hole there that doesn't fill the hole all the way, just be the outer portion, to push down on the plunger for the extractor, and then also pull the spring down for the striker to be able to slide that off. Generally speaking, you wouldn't need to do that. That would only be if this really got a lot of dirt and gunk and stuff in the firing pin. That's not really likely to happen, so this is generally as far as you would ever need to take this down. Any further work, you probably should take it to someone who's more qualified and has the appropriate tools to be able to disassemble this. You'd want to clean all the rails and the slots on the slide. Clean the barrel, both the inside and out. This is the feed ramp. I want to make sure that's nice and clean. Lockup is achieved on these pistols with this large squared section. It basically would lock into place. When the slide goes back, this shape here will ride on the pin that goes through it, and as it comes back, that would cause it to pull down, and then the slide could continue back. And then when it comes forward, it would pivot back up and lock into place. Reassembly, make sure the barrel's in. Put the recoil spring into the recess. And at this point, you'd want to put the plunger, it goes against the little flat section right here. And since it's not captive, it takes a little bit of manipulation to get in here. Kind of guide it. And then push it into place, like so. Then you would align the rails with the slots in the slide. Go ahead and you would, the hole there for the pin, once that's aligned, you'd put that through. Then you would align the takedown notch with the little section on the slide stop. And push that in place, and it's reassembled. You want to function check it, and it's reassembled.